Hello, this is Lonely Sif 66. Some of you may know me and some of you may don't. That's okay. This is my first time doing something like this, but I need to get it out in the open because I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm going to read a letter called Dear Lashaun Armstrong, and I'm going to post a link to it. And the title is Dear Lashaun Armstrong by WineCountry.Mom. Dear Lashaun Armstrong, you are 10 years old, the same age as my son. You are probably in the 4th grade at some school that gives out too much homework. I'm willing to bet that you try to get out of it as much as my son does. As much as any 10-year-old 4th grader would. Maybe you play sports or prefer video games to anything else. You may even find your veggies under your table just so you can get dessert after dinner. I read about you in the news today. I read that you are the oldest of 3 younger siblings, and that all of you have names that start with L. Landon Pierce, age 5. Lance Pierre, age 2. And Lina Perry, age 11 months old. I hope I said those right. Being the oldest probably made you grow up fast. I know my daughter did when her brother was born 10 years ago. But by the time your younger sister was born, I bet you were a pro at helping out with the baby stuff. Nevertheless, if you act anything like my daughter, I'm also betting you're a pro at the fine art of teasing your younger siblings, even as you felt protective over them as the oldest. And your family fights a lot. At least that's what I gather by the domestic dispute mentioned in the same article. I imagine that also made you grow up a lot. Hearing the yelling and screaming, maybe the hitting. Have you had to talk to the police after your mom and stepdad fought? Where were you there when the police were called during the last argument they had that night? And there's some stuff in italics. I'm not going to read over that. I'm going to post a link on the website. I wonder what you were thinking when your mom gathered all of you up to drive away from the house. At 10 years old, you probably knew more than your younger siblings did about hurt, anger, and why your mom was crying in the driver's seat. Did you worry whether you'd see your stepdad again? Or the bedroom where all your stuff was? Were you afraid? Or was this something that happened often? Did you reassure your brothers and sisters as you all drove away from your house? And did you realize that something was different when your mother drove off the road and headed down a pier at full speed towards the river? I can't help but feel haunted about reading about your mother driving into the river with you and your 3 younger brothers and sisters in the car. You knew what was going to happen. That was apparent by the reports you were getting the window down before the car hits the water. But at 10 years old, swimming past your drowning mother and siblings to save your own life is way too big of a burden for you to bear. Did you see... I'm sorry. Did you see I'm sorry, as I'm reading this, I'm crying right now. Did you see, did she see you escaping the vehicle? Did you question why your own mother would do this? Were you confused? Did you change your whole view on mother's family life and everything you thought you knew in your 10 years of life? What is going on in your 10-year-old head now? Are you beating yourself up? I'm sorry, I can't read the rest of this. This is so sad. And I read over the story how that he was going to rescue his mom, and he said, "Mommy, I'm going to get you help." And she said, "Okay." And that was the last time. And what was going on in his head? I also heard that she said that he was trying to get out of the car before, and he was trying to get out of the car, but the mom said, "If I go, we all go," and he didn't want to go. And as he got out, he was struggling to get out, and she realized, I made a terrible mistake. But I keep thinking, that little boy who's trying to save his mom and he couldn't. And that made me so sad. That poor little boy would have to live with that for the rest of his life. I'm in tears right now as I read it. That's why I couldn't read the whole thing. It made me think back to when my father passed away. When I was 19, my father passed away of a heart attack. And, well, sometimes I still struggle with it because I love my dad a lot. He was a good person. And sometimes it's hard to even think of the good times when he was still alive. Because every time I try to think of good times, I'd still cry because I'd still miss him. But I wonder what's going to happen to this little boy when he gets older. That's what saddens me most about this whole thing. What's going to happen to him? I mean, no 10-year-old should have to go through all that. And my heart aches for him. And like I said, I'll post the link so you can read it yourself. But also, as I close, please, if you're suicidal, if you feel like you're depressed or suicidal, please get help. Please don't please don't leave this burden on your family. Get help. There's people that can help you. If you're suicidal or depressed, call 911, or I don't know, call a family member, call Boys Town suicide prevention hotline. Call whoever. Don't end your life. Don't leave this pain for your family. Like this pain that this family, this little boy's gonna have the rest of his life. And please, everyone, pray for this little boy. Pray for him. This is Lonely Sif 66, and I thank you.